head to the Dollar Tree and pick up a 2-pack of Irish Spring soap. I used the first bar of soap from the pack and rubbed it on all the baseboards in my home, focusing on the ones that are on the exterior walls of our building. I made sure to rub the soap into the baseboard with my fingers so that it was no longer visible. I also rubbed the soap on the windowsills. I then took the bar of soap outside and rubbed it on my sliding glass door and the exterior of my windows. Due to the scent of Irish Spring, it helps deter bugs, which should result in less entering our home. The next way I used the bar was I cut it into pieces and placed a small piece into each of my shoes to remove any odors and to keep them smelling fresh. Lastly, I wet the bar of soap and rubbed it on my kids' bug bites. Once the area was fully coated, I allowed it to dry and the itch of the bite went away. Next up are 2 ways I like to use shredded Irish Spring soap. I took the second bar of soap from the pack and shredded it with a cheese grater into a mason jar. I then took about 1/3 of the grated bar and added it to a small glass jar. I covered the jar with a cloth topper and placed it in the corner of my room to act as an air freshener. Next, I focused on the outdoor spaces of my home. I added the shredded soap pieces to the soil of my potted plants because occasionally I have insects that eat the leaves of my potted lemon tree, and this soap trick helps to deter them. Lastly, I used the shredded Irish Spring to make a multi-purpose spray. To make the spray, I added about 1/4 of the bar to a small saucepan with a 1/2 cup of water. I turned the stove to low-medium heat and allowed the soap to melt for around 15 minutes, stirring occasionally until it was fully incorporated into the water. I allowed the mixture to cool slightly, then added it to a spray bottle I had on hand. I topped the bottle off with warm water, added a sprayer nozzle, then shook it up. I used this multi-purpose spray as a bug spray for my family. I sprayed this mixture on the leaves of all of my plants on the patio to help further deter bugs, and I made sure to reapply it after it rains.
Flies are often attracted to garbage and what's inside. So another thing you can do is take your Irish Spring and just sprinkle a little bit in the bottom of your garbage can to keep flies away as you are filling your garbage. Another thing that I can do with this is I can take the shredded pieces and place them into the recycled jar. I can place the lid on top, and I'll show you what I'll use that for. Now I have this old lantern from IKEA, and I simply place the jar inside like that. Then next, when I'm coming to sit outside, I can either open either side, so I can open the small side or the big side, but I'm gonna go ahead and open the big side like so. And this helps me when I'm sitting outside enjoying the outdoors, and then it scares the bugs away while I'm sitting out here.
As someone that has done home repairs for the last 20 years, I've got some uncommon home hacks that you'll want to check out. First, let's start at the keyboard. Working at that keyboard can cause your wrist and your arms to get tired and sore. Why don't we grab some pipe insulation from your local hardware store? What you're going to want to do is cut it to the length of your keyboard and then cut it in half. Split that because it sits flat on the desk. That is a great support for your wrists and holds it in place. Might seem a little uneasy at first, but it's great. Now, under that computer, I've got a ton of loose wires, and my feet always get caught inside there. I can also take that same pipe insulation and wrap it up together and put it inside the insulation right through the middle. Once I get it all in there, just turn it around, and now it's protected against the wall, and it won't catch my feet. Next, let's move on to the car. There's nothing worse than losing things like your cell phone down the crease between the seat and the console. Take that other half of that pipe insulation, you're going to stick it down in there. Look at that. Garbage, dirt, and your cell phone are safe from getting lost. One of the main causes of home fires in America is the fact that the lint builds up in your washing machine. Now, we clear it out, but why don't you grab yourself a dryer sheet, wrap it around a stick or a paint stick. Use a rubber band to hold it on in place at the bottom, and what we need to do is stick it in those hard to reach places right next to the dryer vent where it catches. The lint loves to collect against the metal inside your dryer. You're going to use this to break it up, and it clings to the dryer sheet. Now, if you grab some dry erase markers, you can use those on top of your dryer or your washing machine. You can use it as a way to keep hold of your shopping list. Go ahead and use it for dryer sheets, laundry soaps, or bleach. Once you go shopping or you make your own list to go to the store, it wipes right off, and it's perfect. Now, back to the blinds. We know these are a pain to keep clean. So what you can do is grab some tongs and grab those dryer sheets again. Not only will make it easy to clean, but it'll give off a great smell when you're cleaning. Look at how the dust collects to those tongs and the dryer sheets. Now, there's nothing worse than trying to hang a picture and using a level. First, you're worried about scratching the wall, and it moves when you're trying to use it. Take some rubber bands, put it around the level, and it grips the wall. Very easy to do. You can do it with one hand. Get it level. Look how I'm using one hand. And you mark your line where you need to put nail. Next, nothing worse than holding a nail with your hands, especially the little ones for the pictures. You can always hit your hands with them. What you can do is grab a pair of pliers, put some rubber bands on them. Look at that. It's self-gripping. Just go ahead and put it right on the nail there, put it up against the wall, and then it's easy to hammer in. And it won't lose its grip on the nail because you got the rubber band on there. Once you got it in place, just go ahead and finish it off, and it's going to hold for your next picture. I hope these hacks really helped you out for your next time you do DIY around the house. Thank you for watching Home Talk, and we'll catch you next time. Whenever my wife works on her art and crafts, it gets kind of messy and it's not organized, but I've got a solution. First thing I'm going to do is take a 1x6 and cut it at 35 inches. I'm actually going to need 4 of these because these are going to be her new craft table. So once I get all 4 of these, I'm going to line them all up, one in front of the other. That's going to give me 22 inches of table. Once I got those lined up, I need a 1x3. I'm also going to cut that at 35 inches. Each one of these 1x3s, which is 2 of them, is going to go up and down the side of the table. I'm going to use glue because glue is such an amazing adhesive. I'm going to set that over on the side of the tables, as you can see from the 4 boards. Once I got in place, I'm going to use brad nails to hold it. It doesn't take much. Now it's time to do the top and the bottom of the table. This is only 17 inches. Again, I'm going to put some glue out and put it in place. What that's going to do is join all 4 of these 1x6s together. We're going to let that set up, and here's our table, but it's upside down. Now I need to build the legs for the table inside the frame of the table that I built. I'm going to set 2 boards on the inside, and there's going to be a 12-inch board that's going to go in the middle. We're going to set that in place again using glue to put it, but I need a space on each side so that the table goes in together. Now it's time to grab my Craig jig. I love this thing. It's great for doing pocket holes and pocket screws. Just use it and drill in. It's great as a guide and helps me hide the screws when I'm putting some tables together. Look at that. You don't see them from the other side, but you'll see them from the front. So what we're going to do is clamp together the frame of the legs of the table, and I'm going to use these pocket hole screws to put them together. It's easy to do, and you can't really mess it up. And look at that. That joint is super strong. The next thing I'm going to do is take some glue, and I'm going to put some wood pegs inside. It's really going to hide up those holes that I cut. Now you think you're sticking out now, but watch this. A little bit of sanding, they disappear, and it's great. I can get ready to paint it. Now I want to build the main frame of the cabinet that I'm building that the table's going to go against. I'm going to use 1x6s again to build the frame, and I'm going to put some shelves inside with them 1x4s. As you can see, there's a gap, and I'll show you why. Once it's all super strong and ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and paint the legs and the table and everything like that. Now I'm going to put down a primer first, and that's going to help the paint adhere to the wood. But one thing I'm not going to paint is the top of the table. I want to go ahead and stain that. And I want to make it dark because it's going to stand out a little bit from the white paint of the legs and the frame. When using stain, I do use a pre-stain and put that on. It helps this smooth over. And I don't use a brush. I actually use a towel because I feel like I can smear it on and make it look nice and make it more even. Once I get the table all done, it's time to put the hinges. Here we are back to the legs with the cross members, and I'm going to use a piano hinge. Take that, put the piano hinge on, and use the screws that are provided. Now I'm going to adhere it to the bottom of the table. Using the piano hinge again, just put it on there. Now it's time to put the table with the legs onto the frame using these brackets and these hinges, and it's going to give it a nice farmhouse look. Once I get this all put up, I'm going to set it onto the wall and mount it with some screws, making sure it's level. Now watch this miracle that's going to happen. I'm going to open the legs with the latch first, and then I'm going to open the table, and look at this. That is the greatest, coolest Murphy table I've ever built, and I love it, and it's got perfect storage. Now, remember that mess we had in the beginning? Look at this at the end. I can put all the crafts in there, and it's the perfect height for working on the table. I hope you enjoyed this project as much as I did, and I hope it inspired you to build your own DIY cabinet Murphy table. Thanks for watching Home Talk. We'll catch you next time.
I grabbed a bouncy ball from Walmart, so I chose a yard of this glittery white fabric to kind of simulate snow. What we're going to do is just take the ball, place it right in the middle, and bring all that fabric to the center. So we're just going to pinch it and gather it. Now we're going to take a zip tie to secure it. This fabric will not be wasted. We'll use it as terry cloth. We'll use it in other projects. So don't feel bad seeing all of this fabric being cut off. Now we can just snip off the excess zip tie. And we're going to take a piece of wire to secure this. So this is going to be our wire that we hang it from a tree, from a shepherd's hook, from a lamppost. We're going to just take that wire and just tie it right around the top. And I'm also going to cut off an excess. That way we have enough room to tie it from whatever we decide. And it's not too short and we have to worry about that later on. So just make sure to cut a long enough piece. Now I have some of these beautiful snowy roses, and these already come pre-flocked. We carry them in rose form as well as peony form, and I think they're going to look really pretty for the entire length of winter. So we're going to just snip off each flower, and we are going to keep these leaves because these leaves are going to be the foundation underneath the flowers, adding a little bit of oomph to the ornament. To work them in, we're going to just dip the leaves into our glue skillet. And fabric is a great adhesive for all of your florals, your artificial leaves, your artificial flowers. It does a great job keeping them in place. So don't worry about these falling apart because these actually hold up really nicely. And I created this technique about 5 years ago now. And the original ball that I created is still going strong. So what you might see over time is that the ball deflates, but if you keep the nozzle to inflate it towards the surface, you can just poke a hole right through the fabric and inflate it as needed. But for $1, versus a $15, $16, $20 styrofoam ornament, it's very cost effective to use the lightweight bouncy ball. We can come back in with the rose flowers. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to hot glue those right in place as well. And notice the thickness of my glue. I always like to keep it more of a honey consistency to prevent it from dripping and to save my hands because we don't want hot glue to drip on our hands. Now we're going to just come back in with even more roses. And I think, like I mentioned before, this is perfect for all winter long. And you can place this before Christmas as well. So you have a really long season for this using only a couple of dollars worth of ingredients. And here is how it looks hanging from my tree, you guys. I absolutely love it. And it looks so pretty swaying with the wind. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm Nick Kretikos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and you're watching me on Home Talk. Bye for now.
So I ran down to the hardware store and grabbed several pieces of brick molding. My first step in creating my floor-to-ceiling headboard wall was to figure out my spacing. I used the existing small headboard as a guide, and I placed 2 of the brick molds on either side. I secured these in place using just painter's tape for now so that I could step back and make sure that they looked the way I wanted them to. Once that was done, I moved things out of the way, and then I secured the brick molding using a nail gun. Now that those outer edges were in place, the next step was to figure out the center pieces. I took a good amount of time making sure that everything was evenly spaced. Once I was happy with the way that looked, I secured that in place using the nail gun as well. I used caulking and ran it down the side of the brick molding. This way, everything would look nice and finished and uniform. Once that was dry, I was able to add my paint. I applied several coats of white paint so that everything would look like it was one continuous piece. Once the several coats of paint were dry, I went ahead and moved the furniture back into the room, made the beds, and got to work on decorating. I thought it looked great, brightened up the room, gave it a little bit of visual interest, defined the theme of the area, and it really didn't cost very much at all. Thanks for watching Home Talk, and see you next time.
Cut a straw about 1 inch long, tape it to your sewing machine and thread yarn through, and sewed my design shape that I drew on the tea towel. Roll some cotton rope into a circle while sewing the rope together with a zigzag stitch. I glued a piece of leather to cover the end. Place a bobby pin over painter's tape with lines marked for seam allowance. Hold the fabric in place with the bobby pin and sew along each line. Now you've got 3 straight lines. Use the prong on a fork to roll fabric over to create pleats.
Don't throw that old yoga mat away. Do this instead. Cut a larger piece of yoga mat and place it on your floor. Use it as a mat for your pet. Grab a little yoga mat scrap and cut it. Fold it in half and hot glue the entire thing closed. Make a hole on one end of this little piece. Put a keychain through that hole. This little piece will help your keys float when in water. Cut a piece of yoga mat and wrap it around a travel mug to know what size you need. Place 2 Velcro dots on either end so that it will wrap around your travel mug and close. This will protect your hands from the heat. Grab a keyboard, measure the length and width that you need, cut that piece out, and then hot glue the entire piece closed. Place it on the edge of your keyboard on your desk and you have a wrist rest. Grab your tablet, place it on the end of a yoga mat. Flip it over so you know exactly how long you need that piece to be. And then cut that piece out. Fold the piece in half so that the fold is on one side and glue the sides on either side of the fold. There will still be an opening at the top, and this is where you can slide your tablet in and out of the case. Now you have a carrying case. Cut a larger piece of yoga mat and fold it into thirds. Hot glue the entire thing closed. Place it outside on the ground to protect your knees while gardening. Grab a picture frame, measure the back side onto a piece of yoga mat, and cut it to size. Place it on top of the backing, put it back into the picture frame, and close it. Place it somewhere in your home and use push pins and notes.
Grab a coordinating kitchen towel and pot holder. Fold the towel and lay it out flat and place the pot holder right in the center. Pin or clip it in place. Then head over to the sewing machine and sew it straight down the middle. Now grab a button and sew that onto the pot holder. This cute towel will now hook onto the handle of your stove or your dishwasher. It looks great and it's functional. Sew on a piece of elastic, creating 2 loops. Flip the pot holder over and use some fabric glue to attach a long piece of ribbon. Slide your toothbrush and toothpaste into the elastic, fold it in half, and tie the pouch together with a ribbon. Toss this in your bag and you're ready to go. Grab a pot holder and some quick dry fabric glue, fold it in half and glue it on just 2 of the sides. Hold it in place until the glue is completely dry. This will slip right over the handle of the pan.
So I'm gonna stick pool noodle onto the faucet like this. Next, I take the other end of the pool noodle and I hold it down so that it aims in the center of the bucket. I turn the water on slowly and I just wait to fill the bucket to the level I want. Now, how easy is this? Now I'm ready to get mopping. Now, a lot of people have trouble with drafts coming in under doors. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take a pool noodle and I'm gonna measure my door. What I picked up was a pillowcase from the dollar store. I'm gonna take this pool noodle, stick it inside. I'm gonna lay it back down on the table so it's nice and flat. I'm gonna go ahead and just wind it. So I'm gonna put a little dab of hot glue here, and then I'm just gonna run this along the edge. So this end is open because this is the top of the pillowcase. So all I'm gonna do is stick the pillowcase into the hole. Velcro adhesive. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel off the adhesive and I'm gonna place it. Now I have peeled the backing off and I'm going to stick it to the door. Here it is on the door and I can still open and close the door with ease. So what I've got here is a pool noodle from an old project that's already cut. And then what I need to do from here is just take a pen or a pencil or marker and just kind of mark where this spot is. I'm just gonna go ahead and make a slit into about half of the pool noodle. Next, I'm gonna flip the noodle over and I've got these great little picture holder strips and you're gonna wanna put it on the back side of where each of these are. So I start by peeling the backing off. And now I stick and press it on the wall and I need to wait 30 seconds at minimum. I just open the pool noodle like so and I stick my my broom handle inside. Here they are all hung up, and I'm just absolutely thrilled with how easy this was and how it turned out.
Place sponges in the bottom of your refrigerator baskets to keep your fruits and vegetables fresh and help them last longer. The sponges will soak up any unwanted water or other moisture. Wrap a sponge in 2 different places around the handle and hold it in place with a rubber band. Place your hands on the sponges and begin shoveling, raking, or sweeping. It'll protect your hands from getting blisters. Place the sponge between the wall and the hammer. Pull the nail out while protecting the wall with your sponge from the metal of the hammer. In a container, add a 1/2 cup of water and a 1/2 cup of fabric softener. Mix together and add your sponges. Let them sit for a while to soak up the mixture. To use them, squeeze out the extra fabric softener back into the container. Toss the sponge in the dryer with your wet clothes and turn the dryer on. When your load is dry, pull out your sponge and put it back in the fabric softener mixture.
Grab some inexpensive tension rods. Take 2 tension rods and install them horizontally in your closet. The front rod should be placed about a 1/2 inch lower than the back rod. This will give your shoes a slight angle forward without them falling off. You can organize boots as well. Place the tension rods vertically to keep boots upright and organized. Is the space under your kitchen sink a jumble of cleaning bottles? Clear out the space and install 1 larger sized tension rod horizontally and in front of any sink pipes. Hang all of your cleaning spray bottles from the rod. In any kitchen cupboard, install a series of 2 tension rods vertically.
Take plastic frames purchased from Dollar Tree and remove the paper inserts and the plastic wrap. Take the frames and lay them face up in rows next to each other in a drawer.
Grab a toilet paper roll, cut a slit down the toilet paper roll, take 2 of them together, slide them onto a hanger, and slide your pants over the top of the cardboard. This will stop your pants from getting creases in them. Take a cord, clip it into a pants hanger, wind it around the hanger, and clip the other end into the other clip of the pants hanger. Now you have some easy cord organization. Place a rubber band on each side of the hanger. Place your garments onto the hanger. This will keep anything from slipping off the edges of your hangers. Grab a couple of old business cards. Fold them in half. Place one end over the top of the pants and clip that into a pants hanger. Now you can hang your pants with ease and it will not leave any crease marks. If you have wire hangers, grab 2 clothespins, clip them onto the wire hanger, and then clip your pants onto the hangers. This will prevent creases as well. Now, if you're short on storage space in your closet, all you need is a chain. Place one end of the chain onto your hanger in your first outfit. A couple lengths down, place the second hanger with the next shirt or outfit. This hangs them all vertically, saving you space in your closet, as well as keeps it nice and flat. Grab a hanger and a package of shower curtain rings. Place all of the shower curtain rings onto the hanger, or as many as you need. Grab your necklaces and place them onto the shower curtain rings. 1 item per shower curtain ring. This keeps your jewelry hanging nicely and it makes it easy to grab when you're getting dressed. Grab your scarves and slide them through the rings. This will keep your scarves nice and organized, works well for decorative scarves and winter scarves. Grab your baseball caps and focus on the back side of the cap where there is a loop. This hangs them sideways into your closet and is a huge space saver.
Take 2 wire cabinet shelves and 2 plastic bins. Bend the legs of the shelves towards the center. Place storage container lids in the grooves. Take 2 wire shower caddies and weave them together. Use zip ties, cut the zip tie tails. Place shower caddies.
Deterring.
Head to Dollar Tree and pick up plastic storage drawers, hot glue them together, and then attach each stack to each other from the side. Take wood cubes and hot glue them under the drawers. Take 4 mirrors and hot glue them to the sides and the top. Add beads. Take 4 more mirrors. Take paint stir sticks and hot glue them to the backs of the mirrors to attach them all together. And glue nautical rope to the edges. Add the mirrors to the upper portion of a paper towel holder and then place the holder back under the drawers. Head to Dollar Tree and pick up 9 small wood crates and stain them with wood stain. Take 3 wood stir sticks and stain them as well. Next, glue the crates together with 3 in a row. Then stack and glue each row to the top of the first row. Cut the stir sticks to the right size and hot glue them to the front bottom of each row of the crates. Add 4 wood beads with hot glue to create a base. Then use a screwdriver to attach the drawer label holders to the stir sticks.
I grabbed 2 of these wood hangers. I'm pulling off the rope. I'm going to cover the front of the wood piece with the shelf liner, and then I'm just going to fold the edges over the sides. Grab 4 picture frames. These square ones work best. And then use a pliers to pull out the fasteners. Use some hot glue to attach 2 blocks to the bottom of the frame. Then glue the second frame to the other side of the blocks. You're going to do this twice with a total of 4 frames. Now we have all the pieces to assemble our shelf.
Take a bowl and cover the bottom in plastic wrap. Next, use a sponge brush and Mod Podge. Cover the entire bowl base with Mod Podge on the plastic wrap. Take rope and begin from the center of the base and wind it around towards the outer part of the bowl. Once completely dry, remove rope layer from the bowl and any excess plastic wrap. Pick up 4 doormats and duct tape from Dollar Tree. Tape 2 doormats together with duct tape. Make sure they are lined up on all of the edges. Attach the other 2 doormats to create one larger mat. Secure with duct tape across the outer and inner edges. Add duct tape strips all across one side of the mat, covering it completely. Take fabric of choice and wrap it around the large mat. Cut the edges of the fabric to make it about 3 to 4 inches wider than the perimeter of the mat. Fold around the mat and use a hot glue gun to secure the fabric in place. Take Scotchgard and spray a couple of layers on the mat outdoors to add a protective waterproof layer.
The next time you're at Dollar Tree, make sure you head to their frame section and grab some of these gold frames. I'm then going to come in with some wire cutters and I'm going to pull out the black tabs that keep the backing on. Then I'm going to take out the glass and I'm going to come with some E6000 and I'm going to glue the glass inside the frame. Then I'm going to come and take 8 of the frames and I'm going to glue 2 of them together. And then I'm going to clamp them together and I'm going to let this set overnight. I came back the next day, removed all my heavy objects that I placed on top, and then as well removed the clamps from all the frames. So I'm going to glue all the sides and then I'm going to just raise them up here and build a rectangular shape. So 2 frames on each end and then the 2 that are glued together for the sides. I'm going to let this set overnight again, making sure that the glue is really solid. And then I'm just going to come in and finish it up with a nice A-frame top with my remaining 4 frames.
To start this project, we're going to need 3 of these cute little craft storage bins. I'm going to use a pencil and we're going to line it up, let that bond for a second. So we're going to secure the other side with the glue and then we're going to go back in with our staple gun to make sure it's reinforced. And now that that's been reinforced, we're essentially going to do the same thing with another one. We're going to do the same thing for the third one. It's just going to sit up a little bit higher. All right, so now that this has been secured, what we're going to do is we're going to use some stain.
Next time you're at Dollar Tree, grab one of these square clear plastic containers, a round garden dish, and some of these silver and white plates from the wedding aisle. And then I also had these wooden candle holders. I'm going to use a little bit of E6000 to secure them into place, and then I'm going to let this securely set. I'm also going to take the round garden dish and I'm going to glue that with the E6000 on top of the candle holders. Once it's dry, I took this appliance epoxy spray paint and I gave it a good coat. Then I'm going to take my plastic plate and I'm going to glue it to the front using the E6000. And then I'm going to give the whole thing a spray with this gray chalk paint. And then I'm going to come in just with some gray acrylic paint. I'm going to give it some texture on the sides, as well as working in some black to give it a little bit of definition. Metallic spray paint, and I also sprayed the garden dish on the top, and then I came in with some white paint and I just dry brushed it on. I decided for the bottom part I wanted to add a little bit of a bright color, so I used this dune grass from Country Chic paint and I lightly patted over top. I next came in with this metallic paint. I did end up taking the plate off the front part because it was easier to work with. Then I took some Mod Podge and I printed off a vintage scale face and I Mod Podged that into the middle of the plate. Then I took this and glued it back onto the front part.
I'm taking 3 hexagon decorative mirrors and 4 small glass candlesticks from Dollar Tree. Stack 2 candlesticks on top of one another. When the glue has dried, I'm taking some black acrylic craft paint, apply the paint all over each candlestick column. Once that column is attached to the base mirror, I'm adding glue to the top of the column before stacking another mirror on top of it in the center. While I'm taking my second candlestick column and my third mirror, I'm flipping the mirror face down and applying the glue to the column before placing it on the center of the back of the mirror. It's time to stack the third mirror onto the other 2. Head to Dollar Tree and pick up 4 small wood crates, 2 small floating shelves. Take the white paint for all 4 crates. Assemble 2 crates together with hot glue and then attach to the second shelf upside down with more hot glue. Take fairy lights and weave it through the holes of the wood crates. Attach the second level of the combined wood crates and do the same thing with the fairy lights. To cover up the seams, take rhinestone ribbon and glue into place. Take craft mirror tiles, cut them to size, hot glue into place, and then remove the protective cover. I'm using 1 large piece of foam core from Dollar Tree and 2 sheets of peel and stick wallpaper. Next, I'm going to use a squeegee to apply directly to the foam core board. I'm using 2 gold paper trays from Dollar Tree and my 2 wallpaper covered sheets of foam core to glue to the bottom of each tray. I'm applying the rub and buff all over the wood pieces. I'm allowing plenty of time for the gold to dry before taking my hot glue gun and gluing the cubes on either side of the wood dowels. Now it's time to assemble this whole project together. Head to your local Dollar Tree. Start by hot gluing the paper towel holder in the center of 1 pan. Hot glue rope starting from the outer edge and work your way in. And work your way up the center of the paper towel holder until reaching the top. Take twine and baskets and wrap, tie, and secure them on either side of the paper towel holder center. Take the second round pan and pour marbles into it. Place the top pan and the baskets on top.
The next time you're browsing the toy aisle at Dollar Tree, don't pass by these plastic wiffle balls. And I'm going to take just some scrap fabric that I had laying around. I'm going to start with a bead of hot glue on my plastic wiffle ball, letting it set, and then pulling the fabric nice and tight. I'm going to wrap it around the wiffle ball. Then I'm going to glue that end down, and I'm just going to repeat this process over and over again, just overlapping my fabric a little bit each time.
You know all those lonely donated lampshades? Pick up a matching pair. Pick up a thrifted belt. Run a bead of clear glue around the perimeter. Take the other lampshade, place it on top of the other lampshade, take some jute twine and tie the inner hardware of the 2 lamps together. Give the connected shades a little shake to make sure they are securely connected. Take the belt and buckle it around the skinny center of the 2 lampshades. Add a little glue to the loose end of the belt and secure it to the rest of the belt. Find a thin wood circle disc. Paint the edge with some acrylic paint. And peel and stick wallpaper is perfect for this project.
First, you need to wet your lampshade thoroughly with some water. We mix together 2 cups of water, 4 drops of dishwashing soap, and 4 cups of cement. I then painted this mixture on the wet lampshade and let it dry completely. Now it's time to make a cement base for the pot. After letting the cement fully dry and cure, we then used a drill to drill in the drainage hole. I added some potting soil.
You'll never believe what you can make from an old lamp and a glass shade from the thrift store. It's time to paint the lamp now. Is cover it with a coat of water-based clear coat. I want to attach it to the lamp base, so I'm going to use some contact cement to do that. It's time to pop it onto the rest of the lamp base. I want to fill the glass shade now completely with soil. My new planter is ready for some plants. I found this lamp not too long ago at the thrift store. Before applying the paint, I'm going to give the base a quick sanding with some gritty sandpaper. I'm going to apply a decoupage medium to the area I want to work with first. Now to start applying the decoupage paper. I want to dampen the paper with a wet paper towel. With everything done and dry, the last thing I want to do is cover up all those little paper bits on the underside of the lamp. To start this project, I want to remove everything but the main section of this lamp. I'm going to add the glue to each of the joints and then leave it all to dry. I found these signs at the dollar store. I'm going to add a thinner wood round. A little wood glue will hold this into place perfectly. I'm going to find the middle and use the top of the lamp to trace a little circle. I'm ready to paint. I'm going to use the white chalky paint to cover both the base of the lamp and the wood. I want to attach the wood top to the lamp. The circle that I drew before is going to help me so that the lamp is correctly centered. Add some glue and then I can join them together and it'll be nice and solid.
I'm gonna rip down all the fabric off of my lampshade. So I'm gonna take it outside and give it a quick spray paint. And then after that, I decided I needed to spray paint one more thing, and that was a mason jar sealing part of the lid that I'm gonna use later on. I'm gonna take this wood slice, I'm gonna give this a good coat of sealer. I'm also gonna do like the live edges. And once that's all sealed, it's gonna be time to grab that mason jar lid and drill a tiny hole in the middle. And now it's time to assemble. I have some E6000 industrial glue that I'm putting in the little hole where like a finial for a lamp would go. And that's where I'm gonna kind of adhere that mason jar sealer. I'm going to put some more E6000 glue along the rim here. So I'll go ahead and set that down, got it in place, and now it's time to drill. It's all good, gonna flip it up.
Grab some hot glue and put a bead of glue along one side of your lampshade, and then add some twine or jute. And we're gonna wrap that around the lampshade until we cover the entire thing. After you have all your tassels made, we are gonna add these to the bottom of our lampshade. And I decided to hot glue these. You could use a needle and thread and tie them and sew them on the edge, but this worked out perfect. You are going to simply trim off the excess tails.
Set an edge of your lampshade against one edge of the wallpaper. Measure in 1/2 inch to 1 inch and mark it by running a pencil where the shade meets the paper. Spray the outside of the lampshade with spray adhesive. Roll the lampshade onto the wallpaper, pressing and smoothing as you go. Apply double-sided tape to the inside lip of the top and bottom of the lampshade. Wrap the overage border of the wallpaper over the edge of the shade and press onto the double stick tape. Take some more tape and apply it to the top and bottom of the lampshade. Take some ribbon in a coordinating color and press half of the width onto the double stick tape and secure on the inside of the shade. Do this for the top and bottom of the shade. Continue the lamp makeover by spray painting the base of your lamp.
Next time you're at the thrift store, pick yourself up a couple of lampshades. To begin my project, I just took apart the lampshade, so I just began with some scissors, cutting apart the fabric and ripping it off. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this little knob back on. Then I'm going to go ahead here with a hot glue gun, just going to attach this faux moss onto the wired parts. I came in with these solar fairy lights and wrapped them all around my lampshade.
So to get started, I am going to take apart the lamp and I'm just going to put some alcohol on the paper towel and wipe down my lamp base. I'm just giving a little light base coat to this. And then I have some all-in-one pre-mix stucco patch. And I'm just using an old chip brush and I'm just going to coat the entire thing. While that's drying, I'm going to take that really kind of dingy old looking lampshade. I'm using some white chalk paint. That's water that you saw me mist on there. And it just makes the paint kind of flow and cover nicely. I'm going to let that dry. And then I'm actually going to do a second coat. I have a medium gray paint here and I've also added a little water to it. I'm just going to take a regular paintbrush. So I'm just going to work on getting this whole lamp base covered in this. While that gray is still wet, I'm grabbing some mud by Dixie Belle. I put a glove on to put this part on. It's a lot like spackle. Let that dry for about an hour and then grab a sanding block and get that all sanded smooth down. And then for even more dimension, I have white chalk paint and then a lighter gray little sea sponge here that I'm just getting kind of damp. And I've also misted my paint plate. Now I'm just gonna kind of dab around and keep working on this faux finish. And then after I do all that, now I have black and brown paint. Okay, so I'm watering down that paint a little bit and a push pin. I'm using the tip, the little pin, to add some little dot. Lastly, just to seal in all this, I used a matte clear spray.
Picked up this thrifted lampshade that I got at my local thrift store, these embellishments that I found at my local fabric store. I began placing my lace appliques over the lampshade. I'm next going to bring in some spray adhesive and I'm just going to spray the back of the lace applique and then I'm going to lay it in place on my lampshade. Once my pieces were fully placed on, I came in with this So Soft fabric paint, just went very lightly over some of the edge detailing.
Head to Dollar Tree and pick up wood blocks, 2 wood trays, 2 larger frames, and 2 5x7 frames. Take 4 wood blocks and hot glue them to the underside of one of the frames. Paint both frames. Take 2 wood trays and paint them white. Once dry, add a border of gold washi tape to the top. Next, take wood skewers and cut them to size. Hot glue them to each side of the underside of the frames. Hot glue 2 large gold metal rings to the side of the frames on parallel sides. Glue the second frame to the top side of the rings. Cut down paint stir sticks to fit the interior part of the frame and cover them with gold washi tape. Unwrap the 5x7 frames, remove the glass, and place the glass on both levels.
The next time you're at Dollar Tree, make sure you head to their frame section and grab some of these gold frames. I'm then going to come in with some wire cutters and I'm going to pull out the black tabs that keep the backing on. Then I'm going to take out the glass and I'm going to come with some E6000 and I'm going to glue the glass inside the frame. Then I'm going to come and take 8 of the frames and I'm going to glue 2 of them together. And then I'm going to clamp them together and I'm going to let this set overnight. I came back the next day, removed all my heavy objects that I placed on top, and then as well removed the clamps from all the frames. So I'm going to glue all the sides and then I'm going to just raise them up here and build a rectangular shape. So 2 frames on each end and then the 2 that are glued together for the sides. I'm going to let this set overnight again, making sure that the glue is really solid. And then I'm just going to come in and finish it up with a nice A-frame top with my remaining 4 frames.
Head to Dollar Tree and pick up fabric. Flip the frame on the back side of a piece of fabric. Draw horizontal and vertical lines off the 4 corners of the frame. Create boxes the same depth of the frame from these marks. Next, cut a diagonal line on the corner box cut marks and Mod Podge that fabric to the corners of the frames. Fold the fabric over on itself and then Mod Podge the rest of the fabric to wrap it around the exterior of the frame. Draw and cut diagonal lines in the center of the frame. Then take that fabric to wrap the interior side of the frame with Mod Podge. Reassemble the frame and add your photo of choice.
I grabbed 2 of these wood hangers. I'm pulling off the rope. I'm going to cover the front of the wood piece with the shelf liner, and then I'm just going to fold the edges over the sides. Grab 4 picture frames. These square ones work best. And then use a pliers to pull out the fasteners. Use some hot glue to attach 2 blocks to the bottom of the frame. Then glue the second frame to the other side of the blocks. You're going to do this twice with a total of 4 frames. Now we have all the pieces to assemble our shelf.
Take a bowl and cover the bottom in plastic wrap. Next, use a sponge brush and Mod Podge. Cover the entire bowl base with Mod Podge on the plastic wrap. Take rope and begin from the center of the base and wind it around towards the outer part of the bowl. Once completely dry, remove rope layer from the bowl and any excess plastic wrap. To begin, I'm taking my 3 wooden circles and painting them with chalkboard paint. I'm using 2 floating shelves from Dollar Tree. I'm using white paint from Deco Art. I found 3 wooden crates at Dollar Tree and I'm going to be painting them. Once everything that has been painted is dry, it's time to put it all together. I'm using E6000 glue. Once my circles are cut to size, I'm using a pencil to cover a majority of the back of the template. I'm using my pencil to trace the font I chose on the front side of the template. By doing this, it will apply the font template to the circle. I'm using a white paint marker to cover it. Head to Dollar Tree and pick up 9 small wood crates and stain them with wood stain. Take 3 wood stir sticks and stain them as well. Next, glue the crates together with 3 in a row. Then stack and glue each row to the top of the first row. Cut the stir sticks to the right size and hot glue them to the front bottom of each row of the crates. Add 4 wood beads with hot glue to create a base. Then use a screwdriver to attach the drawer label holders to the stir sticks. Head to Dollar Tree and pick up 4 small wood crates, 2 small floating shelves. Take the white paint for all 4 crates. Assemble 2 crates together with hot glue and then attach the second shelf upside down with more hot glue. Take fairy lights and weave it through the holes of the wood crates. Attach the second level of the combined wood crates and do the same thing with the fairy lights. To cover up the seams, take rhinestone ribbon and glue into place. Take craft mirror tiles, cut them to size, hot glue into place, and then remove the protective cover. Pick up 1 garden border from your local Dollar Tree. Cut the spike bases off, add small black zip ties to attach the wreath form to the border fence. Wrap the border fence with small twinkle lights all the way around. Add greenery of choice around the top of the border fence with hot glue.
Next time you're at Dollar Tree, scoop up some of the white wire baskets and grab yourself a paper towel holder. Then I'm going to take the paper towel holder and place it on the bottom and then cut out the wire basket just in the middle. You're going to slide it over top and then you're going to secure it in place with some zip ties at the bottom. You're next going to take your second wire basket and cut out the middle. You're going to place it on your paper towel holder and then you're going to place some zip ties around the paper towel holder to give it a little bit of a ledge to sit on. Then you're going to come in with some E6000 and then you can spray paint it your favorite color.
I'm taking 3 hexagon decorative mirrors and 4 small glass candlesticks from Dollar Tree. Stack 2 candlesticks on top of one another. When the glue has dried, I'm taking some black acrylic craft paint, apply the paint all over each candlestick column. Once that column is attached to the base mirror, I'm adding glue to the top of the column before stacking another mirror on top of it in the center. While I'm taking my second candlestick column and my third mirror, I'm flipping the mirror face down and applying the glue to the column before placing it on the center of the back of the mirror. It's time to stack the third mirror onto the other 2.
Head to Dollar Tree and pick up plastic storage drawers, hot glue them together, and then attach each stack to each other from the side. Take wood cubes and hot glue them under the drawers. Take 4 mirrors and hot glue them to the sides and the top. Add beads. Take 4 more mirrors. Take paint stir sticks and hot glue them to the backs of the mirrors to attach them all together. And glue nautical rope to the edges. Add the mirrors to the upper portion of a paper towel holder and then place the holder back under the drawers.
Head over to Dollar Tree and grab these hanging flower baskets. You'll also need a tomato cage. I stuck it into the ground and grabbed some black Rust-Oleum spray paint and spray painted the entire tomato cage, cut the bottom ends off. I placed the flower baskets onto the tomato cage.
So we're going to start with 12 of these really cute little crates from Dollar Tree. First, going to glue them together. So we are going to be using some wood stain. We are going to stain this as well. So we're going to put this into a formation. And what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over and we are going to put it on the center of our Lazy Susan. So we're going to go ahead and load this up.
Next time you're at the dollar store, grab a large wreath form, 2 small wreath forms, and 1 3D wreath form. Assemble the 3D wreath form according to the instructions. Start to cut the wire rings from each other on the large wreath form and the 2 small wreath forms. Take the second to largest ring and place in the center of the wire globe. Take 2 of the second to smallest rings and attach them horizontally between the center ring and the bottom of the globe. Take the smallest rings and attach them horizontally to each end of the globe, securing with floral wire. Starting at the top of the globe, tie a piece of jute twine in a secure knot. Start to loop and weave the jute twine over and under. Once finished with one section, skip the section beside it and start to weave the jute in the next section in the same direction. Work your way up the globe and weave the jute in every other section. Once you have the horizontal sections complete, start to weave the alternate sections vertically. Take a light cord and attach it to the top of the globe with the bulb hanging in the center of the globe. Use a very low wattage bulb that does not get hot.